You see, in today's world of social media and instant gratification, there's a temptation to share every little step of our journey. We post about our workouts, our meal prep, our late nights at the office. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with sharing, it can sometimes become a distraction from the actual work that needs to be done. When you work hard in silence, you're not doing it for the likes, the comments, or the validation from others. You're doing it for yourself, for your own growth, for the satisfaction of knowing you're making progress towards your goals. Now, let's talk about the second part of our principle, shock them with your success. This is where the magic happens, folks. When you've been working diligently, consistently, without making a big fuss about it, and then suddenly you achieve something significant, that's when people sit up and take notice. It's like the old saying goes, overnight success takes about 10 years. When you shock people with your success, it's not because you've suddenly become talented or lucky. It's because you've been putting in the work all along, and now it's finally paying off in a big way. But here's the key. The shock factor only works if you've been quiet about your journey. If you've been constantly updating everyone on your progress, your eventual success won't have the same impact. It's the element of surprise, the where did that come from? Reaction, that really makes people take notice. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Jim, isn't it good to share our journey? To inspire others and keep ourselves accountable. And you're right to a certain extent. There's value in sharing and in finding support from others, but there's also immense power in working quietly and focusing on your own progress without seeking constant external validation. Think about some of the most successful people you know. I'm not talking about celebrities or social media influencers. I'm talking about people who have built something substantial, who have made a real difference in their field. Chances are they didn't get there by constantly talking about what they were going to do. They got there by actually doing it day in and day out, often when no one was watching. Let me give you an example. Imagine two people who want to start a business. The first person talks about it constantly. They post on social media about their plans. They tell everyone they meet about their great idea. They spend a lot of time networking and promoting themselves. The second person quietly goes about setting up their business. They do their research. They develop their product or service. They put in long hours without fanfare. Fast forward a year. The first person might have a lot of followers and supporters, but they might not have made much actual progress on their business. The second person, on the other hand, might suddenly launch a successful product or service seemingly out of nowhere. Which one do you think will have a bigger impact? Which one will truly shock people with their success? You see, when you work hard in silence, you're giving yourself the space to focus, to make mistakes and learn from them without the added pressure of public scrutiny. You're allowing yourself to fully immerse in the process of growth and development. And let's talk about that process for a moment. Real growth, real progress, it doesn't happen in a straight line. There are ups and downs, setbacks and breakthroughs. When you're constantly sharing your journey, you might feel pressure to only show the positive parts or to exaggerate your progress. But when you're working in silence, you can be honest with yourself. You can acknowledge the struggles without worrying about how they'll be perceived by others. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should never share your goals or your progress. There's a time and place for that. What I'm saying is that the majority of your time and energy should be focused on the work itself, not on talking about the work. Think of it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You trust the process. You water it, you make sure it gets sunlight, you take care of the soil. And then one day, almost like magic, a plant appears. That's what working hard in silence is like. You're nurturing your goals, your skills, your dreams without constantly checking for results or seeking approval from others. But here's the thing, working hard in silence requires discipline. It requires faith in yourself and in the process. It requires the ability to delay gratification, to keep going even when you're not getting immediate rewards or recognition. In a world of instant gratification, this can be challenging. We're used to getting likes and comments and shares almost instantly. But real success, lasting success, doesn't work that way. It takes time. It takes consistent effort. It takes patience. So how do we develop this discipline? How do we cultivate the ability to work hard in silence? Well, it starts with your mindset. You need to shift your focus from external validation to internal satisfaction. Instead of asking, what will others think of this? Ask yourself, am I proud of the work I'm doing? It's about finding motivation from within rather than relying on external factors to keep you going. When you're working in silence, you don't have the constant encouragement of others to rely on. You need to be your own cheerleader, your own source of motivation. This internal motivation is far more powerful and sustainable than external validation. Because let's face it, there will be days when the work is hard, when you don't see immediate results, when you feel like giving up. On those days, likes and comments won't be enough to keep you going, but if you're driven by your own inner fire, by your commitment to your goals, you'll be able to push through those tough times. Now, let's talk about the shock them with your success part of our principle. This isn't about suddenly revealing your success just to impress others or to prove someone wrong. It's about the natural result of consistent, focused effort over time. When you've been working hard in silence, when you've been fully committed to your goals without seeking constant approval or recognition, your success when it comes will speak for itself. It will be undeniable. It will be impressive not because you've been talking about it all along, but precisely because you haven't been. This kind of success has a much bigger impact than gradual expected progress. It's like the difference between watching a plant grow day by day and seeing a flower suddenly bloom overnight. The sudden bloom is much more likely to catch people's attention, to make them stop and take notice. But remember, the goal isn't to shock people for the sake of shocking them. The goal is to focus so intently on your work, on your growth, on your progress, that the results can't help but be shocking when they're finally revealed. This principle of working hard in silence and shocking them with your success applies to all areas of life. It's not just about business or career goals. It could be about personal development, about learning a new skill, about improving your health and fitness, about working on your relationships. Imagine, for example, that you decide to learn a new language. Instead of posting about every new word you learn or every lesson you complete, you simply dedicate time each day to studying. You practice consistently. You immerse yourself in the language as much as possible. Then, months down the line, you suddenly start speaking fluently in this new language. That's the kind of progress that truly impresses people. Or think about fitness goals. Instead of posting gym selfies every day or constantly talking about your diet, you quietly commit to a healthy lifestyle. You work out regularly, you eat well, you prioritize your health without making a big deal about it. Then, when people see you after several months, they're amazed at your transformation. The key in all of these scenarios is the focus on the work itself rather than the recognition for doing the work. It's about falling in love with the process, not just the outcome. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Jim, in today's world, isn't it important to promote yourself? To build your personal brand? And you're right, to a certain extent. Personal branding and self-promotion have their place. But here's the thing, your work, your results, your success, these are the most powerful brand you can build. When you consistently deliver results, when you become known for your skills and your achievements rather than for talking about your skills and achievements, that's when you build a truly strong personal brand. It's the difference between saying you're good at something and proving you're good at something. Think about some of the most respected people in any field. They're not respected because they're the loudest or because they're constantly promoting themselves. They're respected because of their work, because of what they've achieved, because of the value they've created. That's the kind of respect and recognition that lasts. It's not based on hype or self-promotion. It's based on real, tangible results, and that's what working hard in silence and shocking them with your success is all about. But let's be clear, working in silence doesn't mean working in isolation. It doesn't mean you never collaborate or seek advice or share your progress with close friends or mentors. It simply means that your primary focus is on the work itself, not on getting recognition for the work. In fact, having a small circle of trusted advisors or accountability partners can be incredibly valuable. These are the people who can provide honest feedback, who can support you through the tough times, who can celebrate your small wins with you. The key is to choose these people carefully. They should be individuals who understand and respect your approach, who won't pressure you to share more than you're comfortable with. Now, let's talk about another important aspect of working hard in silence. It allows you to fail and learn without public scrutiny. And make no mistake, failure and learning are essential parts of any success journey. When you're constantly sharing your progress, there can be a lot of pressure to always show positive results. This can lead to a fear of failure, reluctance to take risks or try new things. But when you're working in silence, you have the freedom to experiment, to make mistakes, to figure things out without worrying about what others will think. This freedom to fail and learn is crucial for innovation and growth. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in history came from people who were willing to try and fail multiple times before succeeding. If they had been under constant public scrutiny, they might have given up after the first few failures. Remember, success is not a straight line. It's a series of ups and downs, of setbacks and comebacks. Working in silence gives you the space to navigate these ups and downs without added pressure or judgment from others. Now let's address another common concern. But Jim, if I work in silence, how will opportunities come my way? Don't I need to put myself out there? It's a valid question. And here's the truth. Real opportunities, the kind that lead to substantial success, don't come from constant self-promotion. They come from consistently adding value. When you focus on working hard in silence, on consistently improving and delivering results, opportunities will find you. People will seek you out. Your work will speak for you. Think about the last time you needed to hire someone for an important job. Did you go for the person who was constantly talking about how great they were? Or did you look for someone with a solid track record, someone who had consistently delivered results? That's the power of working hard in silence. It builds a reputation that speaks louder than any self-promotion ever could. But let me be clear, working hard in silence doesn't mean being invisible. It doesn't mean never sharing your achievements or insights. It means being selective about what you share and why you share it. It means focusing more on doing great work than on talking about doing great work. And when you do share your success, do it in a way that adds value to others. Don't just brag about your achievements. Share what you've learned, offer insights that can help others, use your success as a platform to lift others up. Now let's talk about the mindset required to work hard in silence. It requires confidence, not the brash, showy kind of confidence that needs constant external validation, but a quiet inner confidence that comes from knowing your own worth and capabilities. This kind of confidence isn't born overnight. It's built over time through consistent action, through overcoming challenges, through seeing the results of your hard work. It's the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth isn't determined by others' opinions, but by their own standards and values. Cultivating this confidence is a crucial part of mastering the art of working hard in silence. It's what allows you to keep going even when you're not getting immediate recognition or rewards. It's what helps you trust the process, to believe in yourself and your goals even when you can't see immediate results. So how do you build this confidence? It starts with setting small, achievable goals and consistently meeting them. Each time you follow through on a commitment you've made to yourself, you build trust in yourself. You prove to yourself that you're capable of doing what you set out to do. It also involves continually educating yourself, improving your skills, staying up to date in your field. The more competent you become, the more confident you'll feel in your abilities. And importantly, it requires learning to validate yourself rather than seeking constant validation from others. Celebrate your own wins, no matter how small. Acknowledge your own progress. Be your own biggest cheerleader. Now let's talk about the patience required to work hard in silence. In a world of instant gratification, the idea of working quietly for months or even years before seeing significant results can be daunting. But this patience, this ability to delay gratification, is a superpower. Studies have shown that the ability to delay gratification is one of the biggest predictors of long-term success. It's about being willing to sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term gains. It's about understanding that real, lasting success takes time. But how do we develop this patience? How do we keep going when we're not seeing immediate results? It starts with having a clear vision of what you're working towards. When you have a compelling vision of your goals, it's easier to stay motivated even when progress seems slow. It also helps to break your big goals down into smaller, manageable tasks. Celebrate the completion of these smaller tasks. This gives you a sense of progress and accomplishment along the way, which can help you stay patient as you work towards your bigger goals. Another crucial aspect of working hard in silence is focusing on the process rather than the outcome. When you fall in love with the process of improvement, of learning, of growing, the journey becomes as rewarding as the destination. This focus on the process also helps you maintain consistency, which is key to long-term success. It's not about making one heroic effort, but about showing up day after day, putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. Now, let's address another important point, the power of compounding. When you work hard in silence, consistently putting in effort day after day, you're benefiting from the power of compounding. Just like compound interest can grow your wealth exponentially over time, compound effort can grow your skills, your knowledge, your progress exponentially. Each day's work builds on the work of the previous day. Each small improvement adds up over time to create significant change. This is why shocking people with your success is possible, because while you've been quietly putting in consistent effort, that effort has been compounding. So when you finally reveal your progress, it seems like a quantum leap to others, even though you know it's the result of consistent, incremental improvement. But here's the thing about compounding. It takes time to see the effects. In the beginning, it might feel like you're not making much progress. But if you keep going, if you trust the process, you'll reach a tipping point where your progress starts to accelerate. This is why patience and persistence are so crucial when you're working hard in silence. You need to have faith in the process, to keep putting in the work even when you're not seeing immediate results. Now, let's talk about the role of focus in working hard in silence. In today's world, there are countless distractions vying for our attention. Social media, emails, notifications, it's easy to get pulled in a million different directions. But when you're working hard in silence, you need to cultivate intense focus. You need to be able to tune out the noise and concentrate on the task at hand. This ability to focus deeply is becoming increasingly rare and increasingly valuable in our distracted world. Deep focus allows you to produce higher quality work in less time. It allows you to learn more effectively, to solve problems more creatively, to make connections that others might miss. In short, it's a key ingredient in achieving the kind of success that will shock people. So how do you develop this kind of focus? It starts with creating an environment conducive to deep work. This might mean turning off notifications, finding a quiet space to work, or using tools to block distracting websites. It also involves training your mind to concentrate for longer periods. Like a muscle, focus can be strengthened with practice. Start with short periods of focused work and gradually increase the duration over time. Another crucial aspect of working hard in silence is continuous learning. The world is constantly changing, and to achieve shocking success, you need to be constantly updating your knowledge and skills. But here's the key, this learning should be focused and purposeful. It's not about accumulating random bits of information, but about acquiring knowledge and skills that directly contribute to your goals. And again, this learning often happens in silence. It's the books you read when others are watching TV. It's the online courses you take in your spare time. It's the experiments you run, the skills you practice, the insights you gain through reflection and analysis. This commitment to continuous learning is what allows you to stay ahead of the curve, to innovate, to find creative solutions to problems. It's what allows you to achieve the kind of success that truly shocks people. Now, as we near the end of our time together, I want to address one last point, the impact of working hard in silence on your character. You see, this approach to success isn't just about achieving external goals. It's about who you become in the process. When you work hard in silence, when you're driven by internal motivation rather than external validation, you develop strength of character. You develop discipline, resilience, patience. You learn to trust yourself, to believe in your abilities, to persevere in the face of challenges. These qualities, my friends, are far more valuable than any single achievement. They're what allow you to achieve success after success, to bounce back from setbacks, to continually grow and improve throughout your life. So as you leave here today, I challenge you to embrace this principle of working hard in silence. Choose to focus on the work rather than the recognition. Choose to fall in love with the process of growth and improvement. Choose to build your skills, your knowledge, your character quietly and consistently. And then, when the time is right, be prepared to shock the world with your success. Not for the sake of impressing others, but as a natural result of your dedicated effort. Let your work speak for itself. Let your results be your noise. Remember, the loudest voice isn't always the most powerful. Often it's the quiet, consistent force that creates the biggest waves. Be that force. Work hard in silence and watch as your life, your career, and your impact grow in ways you never imagined possible. Thank you, and here's to your silent journey towards shocking success.